There we go. What's up, guys? We are live here. Not you guys. You guys aren't on mute yet. Do dad jokes first, and then we'll come to you guys on the iPad. We're on Facebook tonight because we got taken down on YouTube for some reason. Yeah, boo. We weren't sacrificing any animals. We didn't say anything negative about cats. I kind of made fun of Mike, so maybe it was a little bit of bullying, but I wasn't even on camera, so I don't know. So we're here on Facebook, and I know a lot of our kids don't have Facebook, so I can still upload to YouTube. So I will upload this as soon as this broadcast is over. There's still comments and stuff like that. You guys, make sure you comment. Make sure you share this with your friends. Share this with this maybe a good opportunity for parents to see who we are, who I am, who Christy is. Mike will not be on screen because he's in timeout. Just know what we're about here at Fellowship Students, all right? Maybe we're just getting trolled and it's epic, and I hope that's it. But YouTube upheld their complaint. I don't know. But anyways, we'll figure it out. So we're live tonight. And so, guys, the dad jokes are back. I got 8 dad jokes, all right? 8 dad jokes that I want to share with you guys. And then we're going to play our quarantine game round 2, and we have 3 contestants who are going to have to run throughout their house and find random items. And there are new items on there. So the ones that got picked from last week, I removed except for a few and added some new things. And so whoever gets the most, we'll go 10 rounds, will be the winner, okay? And Luke, if you're watching, or any of the Lopez family, I have the picture for you, and I got a frame. I'll deliver it. And Isabel, yes, your picture's still here at the same exact spot it was last week and the week before. All right, so we will get that to you as well. All right, so here are dad jokes for this evening, okay? If you see a robbery at an Apple store, does that make you an eyewitness? That's a good one, all right? All right, so the other night I told Cassie I was named after Thomas Jefferson. And she said, your name's Blake. I said, yes, I was named after Thomas Jefferson. Get it? Not after him, but after, because he's dead.
He died.
What did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? I'm 80!
Oh,
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'm 80. Hey, Zach, I'm call for it. All right. All right.
That was fun.
I can't read my handwriting. Oh, yeah, so a cashier asked me if I'd like my milk in the bag, and I said, no, leave it in the carton. I can't reach my applause, or I'll do that. All right? No, I don't want you to go near my computer, Mike. All right.
Time out.
Yeah, what's the best part about living in Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. That's a good one.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one right there. All right. What do you call a dog that can perform magic? A labracadabrador.
Get out.
Yeah, Zach's laughing at that one. I see his face. A labracadabrador. All right. 5/4 of people are bad with fractions. All right. And here we'll end with this one. Why couldn't the bike stand up by itself? It was too tired. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. All right, so you guys can unmute on the iPad. All right, and let me adjust our picture here just a tad. Cool. So you guys can see them all. All right, so we're playing Quarantine Games. This is round 2. All right, and this is also live, super live. All right, so just bear with me as I fix the picture on the iPad so you can see all the contestants. All right. So the goal of this game is there will be 10 rounds. We will keep score. And during those 10 rounds, whoever gets the most items wins. All right. So we'll have a first, second, and third place. But only one person wins because YouTube would take us down for that too. So anyways. All right. Yeah, boo. Hopefully we don't get taken down on Facebook because that would be bad. We'd have to go to Periscope or something like that because they don't take anybody. They don't take anybody down. All right, guys, are you ready?
Yeah.
Trey, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Zach, are you ready?
I'm positively ready.
All right, I'm just trying to find a place for this to sit. All right. So you guys probably can't see this, so I will read it to you. The audience can definitely see it. All right. So here we go. Spinning. A pair of shoes. I gotta see it. Oh, Zach is the winner. Trey, you're in second.
I only got one shoe.
That's gotta be a pair. Oh, so you don't count. It doesn't count.
I know. I have to get off this. It's a point.
All right, Emma, did you find a pair of shoes?
That was hard.
Yeah.
You did?
I mean, you think behind.
Emma, did you find a pair of shoes? Okay, I guess we can go to round 2.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Round 2. A $5 bill.
$5 bill.
Wait, I need a $5 bill. Do we have a $5? I don't think I have a $5 bill. I have $1.
Do 5 ones count?
No, it's got to be a $5 bill. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln himself.
Come on, Emma.
Oh, Emma wins! Emma wins!
You have one, AJ? Let me get second place. Broke.
All right, who's going to get second? Oh, Trey gets second.
Okay, that's okay. I got first. I'll be fine.
All right, here we go. Number next. A notebook.
I got it.
Emma, oh, that was close. Emma, Trey, and Zach.
I was last.
Yep. Nope, you didn't show me. Emma had it with her unicorns. I like it. All right. Here we go. A stick of butter. My favorite part is watching them run.
I know.
Trey wins. Trey, Emma, Zach.
I'll
Zach.
take the bite if that means I get first place.
No, you're too slow. All right. Zach's gotten third 3 times in a row.
Dude, I have a 2-story house.
I'm sorry. That's not my fault.
Boo,
Oh,
boo.
you're
I live
come.
in a big house.
Yeah, listen. Oh, yeah.
Dang it.
All right, here we go. We're probably peeking here on the mic, so I'm going to turn that down a little bit. All right. A bar of soap.
Does it have to be a bar?
Yes, it's a bar of soap. That's soap. Let me see.
It's dark.
I can't see it. Oh, Emma wins.
What kind of soap is that?
No, we don't need it.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised.
I have a bar. We don't have a
Oh, there we go. Zach got second. Emma's in first place here right now.
We don't need it.
All right, here we go. You've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. We're halfway through. Emma leads it 3-1. All right. Here we go. Nail polish. Nail polish. Fingernail polish. I gotta see it. Zach wins.
Wait. Oh, I couldn't hear you. I have
How long? You still got time to get second.
They do. No, I couldn't hear you.
I got some.
All right, Trey gets second. Emma, you're gonna get third. All right, I thought Emma would most definitely win that round. All right, here we go. Spin. Nope, we already did that one. Hair dryer.
Hair dryer.
So funny.
Go.
I got it.
Oh, that was. It was definitely. It was really close between Zach and Trey. Emma was definitely third.
Whoever plugs it in and starts it.
Yeah, whoever plugs it in and starts, it wins.
Alright, we're good.
Okay. Zach gets first.
Let's go.
Trey gets second. Emma third. All right. Zach, you use that hair dryer a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. That probably would have got me kicked off the YouTube. Sarcasm. That's why we got kicked off. That broadcast said so much sarcasm. Here we go. A roll of toilet paper. A roll of toilet paper. Oh, Trey wins that one. Trey wins that one. I think it was Emma and then Zach. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rounds.
3, 2.
It's 3-3. Yeah, 3-3-2. All right, so these next 2 rounds are important here. All right, I'm gonna flip this around. Can I flip? Yeah, let's get. All right, here we go. A flashlight.
I got one.
Trey, then Emma, then Zach. All right, so it's all tied up.
Next one matters.
Yep, whoever gets first on this one is the winner. There is no overtime. There is no overtime because it's 3-3-3. All right, are you guys ready? Are you prepared for this? All right, here we go. Yeah, shit. I can't communicate. All right, here we go. You ready? No, I already did that one. Sorry. I already did that one. Oh, we did. Golly. Come on. Toothbrush. Oh, Zach had it first on camera. Who's second? Who's going to be second?
I got it.
Let me see it, Trey. Yep, Trey. Emma, third. Hey, congratulations to you guys. Congratulations. Zach, we will give you a framed picture as well. So be looking forward to that, okay? Thank you, guys. I was really hoping Zach would lose. Humility is a dish best served to him. So, anyways, hey guys, thank you for joining us. All right, see y'all.
Love y'all. All right, bye.
Hey, we're back. So that was awesome. It was a fun time. We'll be doing everything here on YouTube just to make that quick announcement for the next couple of weeks. Okay. I got a video for you guys to watch for this evening that goes into our sermon series. So if you just give me a quick second, we'll get that for you.
I think for me, it was realizing that, like, in certain situations that I didn't have the tools to properly combat it. And so when I would get anxious, I would just have to ride it or just, be consumed by it. And that would be really hard.
I was having a hard time just even going to school and making it through the day, and my mom wasn't sure what to do either.
I have really bad flying anxiety, and people will be like, oh, like, just take a nap, go to sleep or something, but it's like, I can't do that because I'm so anxious.
Sometimes we experience anxiety that makes it harder to perform our best. Anxiety that is out of proportion to the source of stress we experience leaves us feeling overwhelmed or stuck. When these feelings become more than we can handle on our own, it's okay to seek professional help.
Can I talk about my own experience? So I just did a Google search and looked up therapists near me, or Christian therapists near me, because I wanted a Christian therapist. But then also I contacted a friend whose church had like a directory of resources in the area, and it happened that the Google search was also one of the resources that the church offered. So that's how I found therapy.
A couple of years ago, there was this really big stigma of Black women specifically going to therapy. We were painted as this picture of, no, you are the superhero, you're the strong woman, you don't need this, you can do this. I had a really crazy moment happen, and I'd called my mom, and I was crying my eyes out, and I was like, Mom, I think I need to go to therapy. And she was like, great. Without me even knowing, my mom, early in my childhood, actually went to therapy.
For me, I asked a family friend who was a therapist, who was like connected with the network, and she had a contact, and so I ended up making an appointment with that guy, and I really liked him.
So my very first experience of therapy I didn't like, because it felt very like, it felt a little stuffy and I didn't feel comfortable.
I got lucky and I stuck with the first person I was given. I mean, I remember the first couple sessions being like, let's get to know you. Therapy, in a lot of ways, is about giving you tools.
At first, I was very, very nervous. We had like a consultation. I was like, oh my gosh, what do I need to wear? What do I have to say? What questions do I need to bring in? But immediately when I got into the room, I felt like this just weight dropped off of me.
I felt relieved. I felt like I was finally going to be able to understand what I go through and like get the tools necessary to combat it, because I was really beat down by like what I was going through.
I was 17 when I first started seeing a therapist, and it is one of the most life-changing things that could have happened to me at that time, for insight, for healing, for just hope for the future.
Yeah, therapy saved my life. And allowed me to grow, allow me to change, and allow me to accept the things that I had in me that I did not feel like I could have accepted without it. So it truly saved my life. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to get help.
Commit to it and you'll be in a better place than you were however so many days ago, hours ago, weeks ago. So
I had such a hard time in middle school and in high school. I had so much anxiety, and from going to therapy, it changed my life, and I now live a life I never knew was possible for myself. I'm so grateful for that, and I want everyone to know that that's possible for them. And you're not alone, and you're never alone, and there's always someone that you can talk to. Always, always.
If you have a friend that's in therapy, I would say the best thing you can do is just support them. Don't try to belittle them. Don't say, oh, you don't need this. Like, say, like, you're doing the right thing, or like, you know, you're doing something that's gonna really help you. That goes a long way.
I had a lot of friends who wanted to, you know, get in there with me, which was great at certain moments of that time. Give them space if they need space.
What works for you might not work for your best friend, even if you're similar in every other way.
If they want to talk about it, be a listening ear. Especially with men in American society, it's really hard to talk about that stuff. And so when you do, like, it becomes more of a normal conversation. It's good, like, you know, it destigmatizes it.
Hey everyone, welcome.
Hold on, we're muted. Oh, you're good.
Okay. Hey everyone, we are starting session 3. I love that video. I'm pretty excited about tonight. My two worlds are going to collide, and I'm just so excited to be able to just walk with y'all through the scripture tonight. My name's Christy. If you don't know me, hi parents. If I've never met you before, I am usually with the high school girls. I've been serving up here for a while, and every once in a while you'll see my face here in front of everybody. And we are continuing session 3 of our series, Faith in an Anxious World. Such a timely study for us, honestly, and so I'm really excited to be able to continue. Last week, I was able to speak about life in a relational world. That we kind of talked about how God created us with a circle of people that were, meant to be that support system for us when we are feeling anxious and overwhelmed and sad or experiencing depressed feelings. That we have a unit around us that is meant to be our circle. And so I hope, students, that if you were listening last week, that you completed that challenge to reach out to somebody and identify who is in your circle. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's another adult in your family, sometimes it's just us as leaders, and we get that. But I hope that you found someone. So we're continuing this week talking about life in a hurting world. A lot of times we will experience anxiety, moments of sadness, of grief, of loss. Right now, I'm probably feeling a lot of different things with what's going on in the world. And so I'm excited to kind of see through the rest of, next week I think will be our last session in this, but we'll continue talking about how to cope with those things. So tonight I said, I'm seeing my worlds collide because I'm a counselor. I actually get to talk about when those kids are seeing that video, going to see therapy. I was probably one of the ones on the other side. But we're going to talk about what that really looks like, how to deal with those feelings, because let's be honest, like, we feel anxious, we feel sad. Emotions are part of being human. So we need to have not only that circle of support, but we need the right tools to help us deal with those feelings. Because as we learned in, I think it was session 1, talking about that anxiety and depression, feelings of sadness and grief, thankfully don't last forever. They're temporary, but we still need the right tools to deal with them. So we are going to be in Luke 8 tonight. So if you have your Bibles, I hope that you can open that up. We're going to be in Luke 8:40. So let's just skip to that. The words, thankfully, will be on the screen, but it's good to have your Bible in front of you, especially if you want to go back and continue to study. So I'm going to read for us. So just follow along. So when Jesus returned, the crowd welcomed him, for they had been waiting for him. A man named Darius, who was a synagogue leader, came and fell at Jesus' feet. He pleaded with Jesus to come to his house because his only daughter, a 12-year-old, was dying. As Jesus moved forward, he faced smothering crowds. A woman was there who had been bleeding for 12 years. She had spent her entire livelihood on doctors, but no one could heal her. She came up behind him and touched the hem of his clothes, and at once her bleeding stopped. "Who touched me?" Jesus asked. When everyone denied it, Peter said, "Master, the crowds are surrounding you and pressing in on you." But Jesus said, "Someone touched me. I know that power has gone out from me." When the woman saw that she couldn't escape notice, she came trembling and fell before Jesus. In front of everyone, she explained why she had touched him and how she had been immediately healed. "Daughter, your faith has healed you," Jesus said. "Go in peace." When Jesus was still speaking, someone came from the synagogue leader's house, saying to Jairus, "Your daughter has died. Don't bother the teacher any longer." And when Jesus heard this, he responded, "Don't be afraid. Just keep trusting, and she will be healed." When he came to the house, he didn't allow anyone to enter with him except Peter, John, James, and the child's father and mother. They were all crying and mourning for her. But Jesus said, "Don't cry. She isn't dead. She's only sleeping." They laughed at him because they knew she was dead. Taking her hand, Jesus called out, "Child, get up." And her life returned, and she got up at once. He directed them to give her something to eat. Her parents were beside themselves with joy, but he ordered them to tell no one what had happened. All right, so in Luke 8, we found two people in very helpless and hopeless situations, right? We have one who is a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years. I cannot imagine that. And then we had a young girl, a 12-year-old, who was getting ready to die. Obviously, who was suffering from something. So two pretty extreme situations, right? I mean, even to think about the woman had been bleeding as long as that child had been alive. Pretty extreme. The woman we see, she was alone, as far as we know in that scripture. They didn't really say anything about a family. She was in a crowd of strangers, right? We never actually even learned her name. She's pretty anonymous here. The girl had family all around her, clearly loved, and obviously a lot of people trying to help her and work for the family. But both are disconnected from other people by something they can't control. Their health, right? No control if they get that sickness or that disease or whatever it is that they were experiencing. Jesus is on his way somewhere, or coming back from somewhere, obviously going somewhere. The crowd is kind of doing what it's doing, right? It's crowding around Jesus. Maybe some were headed some other place. Maybe some were just trying to follow him. But Jesus stops in his tracks for both women. Jesus stops in his track for both that woman and that girl. Wherever he's going, it's not as important as the people right in front of him. He's not too busy to stop and notice the woman that obviously no one else seemed to really have time for. Doesn't even overlook the girl. Even though everyone else had kind of given up on her, that leader that was helping them. So of all the things that we can kind of notice in this passage of Scripture, there's some important things to recognize. No matter how old a person is, no matter how hopeless and helpless a situation may seem, no matter what else everyone else is thinking, when we're hurting, we're Jesus' top priority. Think about that. When we're hurting, we're Jesus' top priority. You know, he wired us, as we talked about last week, he wired us for relationships and connection. And I feel like this kind of points to, well, especially connection with him. Especially. we look at this woman, right? She'd been suffering a long time, 12 years. No mention, pretty anonymous, right? Maybe her bleeding condition kind of isolated her from people. That was potential. The Jewish society, there was rules around you couldn't touch people that were bleeding. So, gosh, imagine here you are, you've been in quarantine for, what has it been, 6 weeks, and you can't touch other things and other people. Imagine doing that for 12 years because of a condition that you had no control over. So she was probably really self-conscious, probably either pushed, and kind of like we talked about last time, maybe pushing people away, if I'm feeling that way, and probably other people pushing her away. So really isolated. Either way, that woman had to make a very tough choice in this helpless situation to step out of her silent suffering. No matter how hopeless or helpless she felt, and go for help. And that's what we're kind of talking about tonight. That a lot of us are hurting. A lot of us will hurt. If not now, sometime in the future. Not now, probably in the past. We will hurt. But the key difference is that these people went for help. Now, she was physically healed, this woman. She was physically healed the instant when? The instant that she touched the hem of Jesus' clothes. Can you imagine that? She didn't have to wait for a vaccine to come out. She didn't have to go and wait in line 12 cars deep at CVS and get something. She just touched the hem of the clothing. Not even necessarily him, his body. She just touched the hem of his clothing. I just think that's amazing. And she was physically healed. But Jesus wasn't content with her just being physically healed and walking away. What happened? Well, because we know that physical healing doesn't solve all the problems, right? There's probably actually a lot of people that have been hurting and suffering and that maybe have never had to deal with physical issues. It's the emotional, it's the mental, it's the spiritual, it's our souls. She walks away and he calls attention to her. And when he calls attention to her, that's when then he says she experiences peace. She has true emotional and mental healing. Peace. Fruit of the Spirit. So, think about that. It's not just her body that was healed, but all of her. So let's kind of come back to verses 47 and 48. When the woman saw that she couldn't escape, let's zoom in on that, she came trembling and fell before Jesus in front of everyone, and she explained why she had touched him and how she had been immediately healed. Daughter, your faith has healed you, Jesus said. Go in peace. Why? Just think about that. Okay, and then it kind of ends for her, right? There was no real reaction from her. At least that's what Luke says. What are some of the reasons that she might not have jumped or shouted for joy? Or, you know, I think we've heard other stories where people are healed and they're like, jump for joy. I think of like the woman as well, like she runs into town and she tells everybody. But this response was different. I wonder why she might have responded the way she did. If you're sitting with your parents or maybe a friend or a sibling, take a second. How would you have responded if you were dealing with this, touch the hem of Jesus, were physically healed, and then tells you to go in peace? How would you have responded? You know, I kind of wonder, she might have maybe just felt some shock or some awe, almost like disbelief. I don't know, I just think for myself, like, gosh, like, really? Like, am I really good? Like, am I healed? Like, completely? Maybe a little cautious. I mean, she did sneak and, like, just try and, like, touch him just a little bit. So I almost kind of wonder, was it a little, like, embarrassment? You know, she got caught. It was a little sneaky. we shift frame to then this 12-year-old in the story, however, she had a family, she had a home. She obviously was well known and had some value in the society. Her dad being a synagogue leader, there was some esteem there. So it was probably very well provided for. Yet there's still some similarities in how people have responded to these two situations, right? Like, the crowd didn't really pay this woman of 12 years, did not really pay any mind to her. They just kept going. But that's not how Jesus responded, right? Just an interesting situation. So let's look at 45 and 49. We're going to compare these two. So 45 says, "Who touched me?" Jesus asked. When everyone denied it, nobody taking, I guess they were afraid someone was going to get in trouble for touching Jesus. It's pretty well known at this point. Everyone denied. Peter said, "Master, well, the crowds are surrounding you and pressing in on you." The way that I perceive that is like Peter's more concerned about Jesus and how people are flocking to him. Like, everyone's pressed up on you. Like, what does it matter? Like, someone touched you. All these people were pressing on you. Like, okay, let's keep going. And in 49, we see while Jesus was still speaking, someone came from the synagogue's leader's house saying to Jairus, "Your daughter has died. Don't bother the teacher any longer. She's dead. Don't bother the teacher." That kind of sounds like inconvenience. Okay, now we don't want to bother him. Like, he's obviously a busy man. He has crowds following him. Like, let's not disrupt. So do you see the difference in how Jesus responded versus the people? How did the people react to the sick woman and the girl's father? How did they react? Really didn't care. Sometimes the world's going on around us and we miss the cue of people hurting. We miss the cue to stop and pay attention to others. There was a song that came out, oh gosh, I think it was when I was in high school. What was that Brandon Heath song, like, "Give me the eyes"? Give me eyes to, yeah, like, help me see people the way that you see people, Jesus. We do not see people the way that he sees us. We miss things in our busyness, in our selfishness. We just blow past people. And right there in this crowd of people, there was healing needed, and they didn't see it. In this house, there was healing needed, and they were searching for it, but they were just looking at the surface. They were just looking at physical healing. Saw that there was no option, that they were helpless now, so let's just move on. Defeat. We can get so distracted by so many other things about what we think is important, about what we think the world thinks is important, that culture thinks is important, that we're missing opportunities for connection. We will not see how someone near us might be feeling. And let's be honest, sometimes it's really hard because maybe we can't deal with our own feelings, and I don't have the space or the mental ability to like sit with somebody else with their struggles. So Jesus here reminds us that even to his closest followers and this leader, this person of esteem, that people are the most important priority. Even when we think there's no hope, even when we think there's nothing else that can be done, no. That girl can still be dead and I can still help her. So we have to learn how to stop in our own tracks sometimes. Both the sick woman and the dead girl's father needed to leave their homes, though, and go for help. That's the first step. They needed to leave that immediate moment of pain and struggle, whole bunch of emotions, and go and leave for help. And so the same is true for us. Sometimes we have to stop in our own tracks and reach out for help. Now, I know this is hard. This is really hard because we can experience the same anxiety over and over and over again. And maybe instead of listening to it, we try and ignore it or numb it out, or a lot of times then we start feeling hopeless. Now, this is where I'm going to break out my counselor skills for a second, Blake. So this is really important for us to understand because this is a biological system in us. This is really cool. There's this theory called polyvagal theory. And it basically explains how we work human, how we perceive anxiety, things that might potentially be dangerous for us. Our brain receives that information and determines, oh, this is dangerous. It could be perception or it could be legitimate danger. But our brain perceives this. And then we probably all know this, fight or flight reaction. Right? So you see, I always use the example, you see a dog, you're walking down the street, you see a dog start running towards you. What happens? Before you have had time to think about it, you're either moving or you're defending yourself. That our bodies are wired, God wired us with fight or flight instinct. Now, here's the tricky part. So we go up, we call it hyper arousal, so our body gets activated, it's our nervous system that gets activated, sends us up. We have feelings that are fear, panic, anger, those are the hot emotions. A lot of times you feel your body temperature rising, you're anxious, you have moments of panic, you're up. Now your body can't live here because your body is releasing chemicals. It's releasing stress hormones, it's releasing adrenaline, it's those things that send you up. You can't live here. Eventually your body is going to crash because it needs to come down to what we call like this window of tolerance where we're connected with ourselves, we're connected with others, we're balanced. Things still might not be perfect, but we need to be balanced. And if I don't have the tools to bring me down into this balance, I'm going to shoot down into then hypoarousal, which is depression, which is sadness, which is disconnect, which is numbness. How many times have you felt anxiety for so long that at some point you just stop feeling it? Or you avoid. You start isolating, you withdraw, and you numb out. And that's the bottom. So if anxiety, these high emotions of anxiety are not dealt with, your body will activate you and send you into this lower survival mode, disconnect. So think about that. What would happen if instead of keeping things to ourselves in these moments, we're hearing and feeling all these really intense emotions, what if we reached out and we used this coping skill to bring us down into this window of tolerance where we're connected with others, we're connected with ourselves? It's really scary. Don't get me wrong. Really scary. But could be life-changing for you. Could be. So, I want to teach you a couple things tonight, which I totally love. This was already in the curriculum, I just want to say, and I'm very proud of it because this is great. We're going to practice this because this really works. Breathing. So simple, guys. So simple. But, hear me out. Deep breathing works. So just like we talked about this biological system that happens within us, breathing is so helpful because it gets the bottom of the brain to talk to the front of the brain, your logic, to say, whoa, 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 you're okay, you're safe. It's just feelings. You're human. You can get through this. Because here's another thing that happens. When feelings, so we have we say two parts of our brain. We have our thinking brain, our logic. We have our feeling brain, our emotions. And when our feelings escalate, they disconnect from our thinking. And our thinking sometimes will shut down. When we're in fight or flight, think about that. You can't sit here and solve a really intense math problem. No. Your body says, nope, you don't need that right now. You need to protect yourself. So you need to activate your primal instincts right now. And so you disconnect. So irrational things happen. So when parents, if you're watching, this is important to know, that when feelings are activated, they're super anxious, or they're very depressed, or they are so overwhelmed, you cannot talk to a problem. You will not be able to get through, because that brain is shut down until feelings have calmed down and it's reconnected. And oh, I'm okay. That really wasn't that big of an issue. Okay, let's problem solve this. So, yelling only intensifies the feeling. We have to soothe. And one way, just one way, there's a lot of different other ways, but one way is breathing. It's a biological instinct within us that we all know how to do. But think about it, when you've ever been super anxious or super elevated, you're probably not breathing well. It's probably really shallow. It's probably right here in your chest or in your throat. People sometimes hyperventilate because they're trying to breathe, but they can't. But slow, deep breathing is what helps calm that body back down and send you into that relaxed mode. So, there's a way that I want you to kind of remember this. I teach it sometimes as like, we say square breathing. So literally think of a square. You could draw it out if you wanted to. And I say, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. And you could breathe for 2 minutes, you could breathe for 5 minutes, you can breathe for 15 minutes. It's you and your body. And you take as long as you need, right? You can be in the middle of the store, you could be driving in your car, you could be in your room, you could be anywhere. No one's really noticing, like you're just breathing, okay? But you can breathe and soothe yourself. So there's some really cool things that I use. So you could draw that out for yourself, count it in your mind as you're breathing. But you breathe in through your nose, all the way down into your stomach, belly breathing, if you've ever heard that before, all the way down into your stomach. Hold, and then you breathe out through your mouth, kind of like you're breathing through a straw. So, it's not about getting a ton of air. It's about the rhythm, that slow rhythm that helps reset the brain. Okay? So I want you to try that. So you can totally write it out, draw it out, count in your mind, draw it, count it, or there's even apps out there. If you have an Apple Watch, right, your heart rate goes up and it alerts you, you need to breathe. You could totally use that. Or there's an app that's called Stop, Breathe, and Think, and it literally has a breathing timer in the corner. Or the Calm app, and it has a breathing rhythm on there too. So there's other ways if you need help and your brain's like really clouded. Okay, so breathing, and you have practice. It's not something that comes instinctively to us. So we have to practice, practice, practice. So that's my encouragement for you to try this week. Now, so breathing is one. Now, I want you to also remember that you don't ever have to handle feelings of anxiety or sadness or depression on your own, okay? This is the whole point of going through this series, to know you are not alone. You are human for feeling what you feel, but you are not meant to struggle by yourself. So, you have the circle of support, whether it's your family member, it's a parent, it's a caretaker, it could be a pastor, it could be your church body, your small group leader, and sometimes a health professional. That is okay. There's no shame, like the video said, in getting counseling. And sometimes counseling, I will throw this out there, sometimes it's about finding the right counselor. Not every counselor is the same. Everyone's different. They have their own tools, their own resources, their own history and education that they're bringing to the session. So if someone doesn't really work quite well, try it. Doesn't quite work, find someone else. Listen to recommendations. We did get a list together of professionals in the area that if you are needing that you can reach out to Blake, or maybe we'll post it, I don't know. But that would be a good thing that we'll have for y'all. There's people in Terrell, here in Forney, in Rockwall, in Dallas, in Sunnyvale. They're everywhere. Hoffman. Like, there's people everywhere. So it's just sometimes finding the right fit. So I will kind of switch gears and think about something a little bit deeper. If you have been really struggling with this feeling, these really deep, heavy feelings, know that sometimes there are thoughts that come to mind for some people, not everyone, but for some people that are more intense and feel really unmanageable. So there might be thoughts of harming self or harming others. And I want you to know that you can reach out for help, that you do not have to stay stuck with those feelings or those thoughts. So if you ever feel like harming yourself, I want you to call for help. So here we've posted, this is a National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They are kind of the go-to people in the country that you can call and just have someone to support. Maybe I don't feel comfortable right now going to my mom, or it's really late at night and maybe I usually talk to my Sunday school leader, but she isn't available, or whatever it is, that you can reach out to these people and they will help and walk you through what you need to do to be safe. And they have a great website. I love their website because they break it down for everything. So they have a section just for teenagers. And so I love it. Parents, if you need resources, go there because there's a lot of good things. We want people to know that there is help. There are options, and to not feel those things by yourself. One of the really amazing things that we have to remember is that feelings are not final. They feel final in the moment. They feel like they will last forever, but they don't. A lot of times we just got to ride the wave and find those right tools that are going to help us until that wave crashes. So I want you to know and be aware and keep that hotline. Now, maybe you've never dealt with that personally. Maybe you've been concerned, not for yourself, but maybe a friend. And I've heard this plenty of times where it was a friend that came to me and called me at 3 o'clock in the morning, panicked because they feared this about themselves, or they had this thought and they can't get rid of it. I want you to know that you are not meant to carry that on your own. There needs to be an adult to help y'all through that. That is not a burden that, as a friend, you need to carry because you are also still a child. And so the adults are the ones that are in place to help keep you safe. And so we want you to reach out. You can also use that same hotline or use those resources. I want you to talk to your parent or safe, trusted adult to kind of intervene and help that. That is not meant to be, a burden for you to carry. And we always recommend 911 if there's an immediate danger. 911 is always the right resource first, just because we know safety is most important. Okay? So, I want to, how much time do we have? A little bit longer.
Yep, 5 minutes.
So I want to kind of wrap up here. I want you to know that though, yes, I'm a counselor, I've also been a client. I've been on the other side. It's actually part of training is you have to be in counseling before you can be a counselor, which makes great sense, right? Like, we need to know what it feels like on that couch. We need to work through our own stuff, too, to be able to be a counselor. So it's really important. And I want you to know that it is okay to reach out for help. It's okay to ask questions. And you're always welcome to reach out to me. And if you have any questions about what therapy is or what counseling looks like, please feel free to ask. Now, like I said earlier, every counselor is different, and everyone's working on different struggles. And sometimes it's hard because sometimes some parents maybe have never done that for themselves, so they don't know what that looks like or what that means. But it's worth having a conversation over, and it's worth exploring if you feel like sometimes you just need some additional help. Now, counseling is not always meant to be forever. Sometimes it's just for a season. Sometimes it's just learning the right tools and the right resources to help you cope on your own. And then maybe eventually then you go back if there's something new that you want to work on. I've done that before. And so it's just about reaching out and asking for help. And sometimes we don't feel super comfortable talking to a family member or even sometimes our closest friends. Sometimes we want someone who has no idea what my life is like to get a different perspective and have a different experience with. And so that's the beauty of counseling. It's a different person that can speak to you directly and kind of receive just a whole different perspective from you, okay? So it is okay. It is okay to ask for that. So we're going to end here. Just like with every session, our reminder is to look up, to look inside, and to look around. So we look up because we pause in the midst of our anxious thoughts to look up and seek God's encouragement through the Bible and talking with others who are walking in faith. You know, this is not the only example, or even last week, was not the only example of Jesus showing that you were meant for community. You were meant to do this together. You were not meant to be alone. Time and time again, he's encouraging us to reach out. And then we look inside. We reflect on where God is at work inside of us. You know, it takes a lot of strength and courage to reach out and know that he can give that to you. So asking for that. And then we look around. We take a good look at our anxious world to determine when and how to ask for help so that we can make positive changes in our life. Sometimes our anxiety can be too much for one person to handle. And so God designed us to be part of these groups and these communities and have these resources with people who care. And sometimes we have to expand that circle to professional helpers, and that is okay. That is good. Reaching out to God, sharing honestly with others can keep us from facing that anxiety alone. So, who's in your circle? Here's our weekly challenge through this lesson. Who is in your circle? This week, I want to challenge you to have a conversation with your parent or that trusted adult at home. And this is why this is important. You might be feeling fine now. Maybe you've never had thoughts like that that are really scary, or maybe you've had some really intense feelings, and I just kind of brushed them aside, and I just kept plugging through. And that's sometimes what we do if we don't have tools. But to know, if you are feeling more anxious or more sad or more unsure of yourself, sometimes that's normal. If it ever moves beyond normal, where I feel like I can't handle this by myself, that is the point when you can reach out to help. So I want you to reach out to this person or these people, and I want you to kind of figure out a plan of what do we need to do? Is this something we need to watch for? Is this something we need to continue to talk about? Is this something we need to go in and take action now? So Blake sent out on, I think it was the Facebook group, all of the worksheets for y'all this week. Those are great resources. Please use them. On there, they have the hotline, they have the website, they have questions to help you have this conversation with your parent, okay, or that safe adult. And I want you to try and do that tonight if you can. If you're sitting next to them before you go back to your room, or in the morning if they're already in bed in the morning, or maybe you need to go wake them up because it's more serious than they realize, then do that. I want you to start. It takes a little bit at a time that we start feeling more comfortable with that person. But I want you to sit down and talk about who's in your circle. Look at those different questions and figure out, what do I need right here, right now, in these things, okay? And relationships take practice. So that's my challenge for you this week. So let me pray for us. All right? Father, thank you so much for being a God who sees, for being a God who desires for us to be in relationship with others, and more importantly, you, Father, that you would give us people to support us, that we would not walk alone in the pain and the struggle that we have. Thank you for being the healer of all healers. Father, that you look past the physical ailments, Father, you heal them, and sometimes you don't, but that you heal our hearts, most importantly, Father, in our minds. God, would you help each of these kids that are watching tonight, or parents that are watching tonight, Father, to step outside of that fear and hiding feelings, or just the uncertainty of what to do. Would you strengthen them and give them courage to reach out for help if needed? Father, would you just make those connections stronger? We thank you, Lord, for your mercy and for your love. In your name I pray. Amen.
Thanks, Christy. Hey, so couple of announcements for you guys. As you have all received an email yesterday our entire church received an email Tuesday in regards to summer camp 2020. Now, obviously, we are living in an ever-changing, moment-by-moment world right now. And in that email, we detailed our plans this summer. Originally, our camp was to be the first week of June. That's not going to happen. Our camp that we're going to attend has moved that week to be the end of June/July. And so it'll be a 3-day kind of mini camp in order for them to get all of their sessions in. They have 8 weeks, and they're going to split them up into 4 weeks. So that would put us going to camp June 28th to July 1st. Now, here's the thing about that. That may not happen. The camp that we are working with is doing their best to work with state and federal guidelines. So this may be a summer of no camp. We're praying that it does happen, but we will know that May 16th. So they went ahead and made the decision to move this later, which really helps us because we're the first week of June. And so with that being said, camp costs have gone down to $150 since we're not going a full week. We're only going 3 days. And so that's our plan, and if it doesn't happen, we will adjust according to that. Again, we will know May 16th. If we don't go to camp, but if we're able to meet in person, the plan is for our Wednesday nights in June to be our camp nights. And so each Wednesday night, we will theme it out as like we were at camp, an evening night at camp. We will have food. We will have our t-shirts made. We will go by our theme, which is no cross, no glory. We will walk through that from the first Wednesday night in June all the way to July 1st. All right. Also with that, still on the board to go is our mission trip to Florida. This is one of the things that we actually I feel a little more confident about. It's later in July, and so we will obviously update our families. It's already full, so it's too late to sign up for that, and it just would not be easy to pay for that cost. If it by chance somehow gets canceled, we will end up going next year. So what we're asking is, I'm asking for you guys, what you already are, is to pray. Pray for guidance, pray for direction, pray for healing, pray for those who are creating vaccines, pray for our health workers, pray for our church leaders, pray for everybody involved in this, pray for your co-workers, just pray. But we're going to use this time. God has established this time. We know this, that He uses what the enemy deemed for evil for His good and for His glory. And so we are going to champion that. All right. And so coming out of this series, next Wednesday night is our last night in this Faith in an Anxious World series. And we're going to start a new series that kind of walks along what we're going through called No Pain, No Gain. And it's talking about suffering and what it is meant to do in the Christian life. All right. And oftentimes I think like suffering and anxiety go hand in hand. And so if we can get a grasp on anxiety, and understanding, like, if we can get a grasp of that, understand what it's showing us, what it's pointing to us in the midst of suffering, then we can succeed. We can handle that, all right? It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but we know we can walk in that in confidence. And so that's what we want to do. So we're going to be walking through New Testament passages from James, from Paul, from Peter, and those are the 3 guys we're going to be talking about, who's telling us to get ready and to endure and what that leads to, all right? And so we really want to come out of this, going into this summer, ready and prepared for whatever is going to be thrown at us. Okay, and so we thank you for joining us. We'll be here again on Sunday. We'll be on Facebook because Mike got to shut down. And just kidding, because I can blame Mike for this. But
no, it was me.
Yeah. And so we will be here. But check it out. Please check your emails. Like this, the only way this works is that we all partner together, families, parents, ministers, students. So this will be up on YouTube. I can still post on YouTube. I just can't go live on YouTube. And so this will be there, all right? And so if you haven't been able to watch it or you want to just share what Christy said, because it's really, 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 really good, please do that. And please, if you have a need, let me know, email me, contact me. All right, I have some things up my sleeves that I want to do in the next week to see you guys. And then one more announcement, and then I'll be off here, is Senior Sunday. It's going to look a little bit different, obviously, if we cannot meet in person. And so I'm waiting to make an announcement because I'm waiting to see if they're going to actually let us meet in person before June. All right. And so when we get closer to May, look for that announcement. We're going to honor you guys no matter what. All right. But if we can do it in person, then that's the best way. If we can't, I have another plan. And so for you seniors, we will honor you. We will take care of you. We love you. We're excited for you. I was actually talking to Todd today about it, and I think honestly, like for you and this age as seniors going into your freshman year, because there's a chance you may not even be able to go on campus your freshman year. This is going to build something in you that this country and this world has not seen since 1918. And we know what came out of that. A lot of good, a lot of perseverance, a lot of work, a lot of ingenuity. And so I am excited to see that. How are you guys going to handle it? What are you going to do? What great things are you going to do for the church, for the world? Because you endured this in such a pivotal, exciting time in your life. And so we're praying with you. We're bummed, super bummed, but I am excited to see what God can shape in your life. And so guys, we're thankful for you. We love you. I look forward to seeing you hopefully sooner than later because I'm tired of doing this, okay? I'm tired of technology failing, but it's also a little bit of fun, using my brain. But man, hit us up, text me, message me. Man, I miss hearing from you guys. I'm going to do an Instagram takeover this next week, so let's have some fun, all right? Guys, I'll see you later. Have a good night.